Hello beaders, I'm Benson, founder of Beads East. I wanted to crochet this argyle pattern in tubular bead crochet, 12 around in size 11/0 seed beads. But when you crochet 12 around in 11s, the tube tends to collapse on itself and flatten. Sometimes I want this look, but not right now. So I'm adding a core of 3/8 inch piping cord to support the tube, and I'd like to show you how it's done. It's actually a lot easier than you might think. Just think of a shoelace when you do this. The plastic-coated end of a shoelace is called an aglet. Shoelaces are much thinner and more tightly woven than piping cord. Piping is essentially a tube of batting with a thin thread mesh to contain it. But piping is nice and flexible, which is just what we want for a crocheted tube. To make an aglet, trim the end of the piping cord straight across. Cut a 1-inch long strip of masking tape. It's better to have a neat cut edge than a torn, uneven edge. Wrap the masking tape around the last ½ inch of the cord, tightening it as you progress, so the wrapped end of the aglet is about the same diameter as the opening of the starting end of your tube. Using sharp scissors, trim the aglet straight across, so there's about 1/4 inch of masking tape at the end of the piping. Work a few rounds, maybe 3 or 4. Then secure your working loop. Open up the starting end of the tube so it will accommodate the aglet. Push the aglet through the opening at the starting end. Then pull the aglet outward so the piping cord advances through the tube. Eventually, you will cut away the aglet, but for now, your fingertips need to pull it through. Pliers can make this a little bit easier. The aglet should protrude just a few millimeters beyond the working round of crochet. Now start crocheting again. This small protrusion will not get in the way of your hook or your working thread, and it's a whole lot easier to pull the piping cord through the tube bit by bit than it is to try to pull the aglet and its piping through the completed tube in one swell swoop. After every few rows, grasp the aglet, you can use the plier here, and advance the cord through the tube. You'll probably notice immediately how much neater and cleaner the tube looks with the supporting core. Keep doing this until the tube is the desired length. One of the nice features of using a support cord is that you can stretch out the crocheted tube before you do your finishing. You can add 10% to the length of the tube. This evens out the pattern and allows for greater flexibility in the tube because the beads aren't jammed together. Take this into consideration when you're sizing your project. How you treat the ends of the tube will vary depending on how you plan to do the finishing. I will tell you that with a core inside the tube, it's nearly impossible to create a seamless invisible join, because as the tube stretches and bends with normal use, the ends of the core will separate from each other at the joint area. It will be painfully visible. I recommend using a bead cap with either a clasp or a focal bead. You can secure the ends of the core at the ends of the tube with several back and forth stitches through the core and the tube together. The bead caps will cover everything. The cord used in our 12 around 11/0 tube is 3/8 of an inch. Obviously, if you're crocheting a tube with more beads in each round, you'll need a larger diameter cord. But no matter what, using this technique in a large diameter tube gives a beautiful professional look to your bead crochet. This is Benson, signing off, hoping you'll join me again soon.